What is going on, guys? And today we are back in the mix. Currently not streaming. I got a sleeping baby, so I'm responsible. So just recording what I can. Playing a little 4-8 chop shop at the moment. Small blind open here, defend the big blind. 2-4-7. I think we're going to call and draw two more. Ditched a couple of low cards. Looking for that club. Ace 4-7 with the deuce here. I think this is one we're just going to go ahead and check. We have kind of a mediocre hand both ways. I don't think we bet every time in this situation. And then when he checks, I think we just check back. And 3-card 9 was no good. Interesting, he showed up with the... He must have been drawing it a 2-card with a 3-card wheel or 3-card 6. 2-6 here in the small blind. I think this is probably the close to the bottom of my range. Open, draw 3. And we do make the 6 doogie right away. I'm going to go ahead and go for a check raise. I think our opponent here drawing 2 against a 3 can bet pretty wide. We have ditched a 6 and now a deuce. Catch that 7. This is going to be good enough to pat. If we get raised here, it's a little bit tricky whether to catch the 7 or the 6. Probably just stand pat. Hard to break the 7 here to a raise. And we do scoop the 8 Badoogie. I think that's a little bit too sticky, keeping an 8 Badoogie there. You're definitely going to have better combos. And I think you want to just give your hand up there. There's just such a small portion of my range. He probably has the right Badoogie to do it with when he doesn't have an ace. Like the times I check raise like 1, 2, 3 with a 6 or something like that. Or 1, 2, 3 with a 4, 5, or 6. But I think it's just a little bit optimistic. But if he is going to call in that situation, it seems like he has the right combo to do it with. Here in a 2-2-2 spot on the button with ace 2, 6, and a 3. I'm going to ditch this 3 again. I think the playability of trying to catch the Badoogie is just a little bit better. To make a Badoogie, but it's not one that we're in love with. Plus the other person behind us drew 1, so I think this is fine. I'm going to fold here. Again, threat of a check raise, plus the mediocrity of my hand right here is not looking good. He does fold. If I knew that was going to happen, I would have called. Ace deuce here in the cutoff. I think I'm going to fold with not significant enough blockers. See what's going on, Phenom there. Actually, if you guys, as always, if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. Questions or comments, put them below. You need to get a hold of me. My email is also down below. Also, I do have, they gave me a special bonus right now. So if you are looking to sign up for a Phenom account, you will get a 200% deposit bonus up to 4,000 USDT. If you use code LMG, or just click the link below. Click the link below, that will help out. What do we got going today? We got a couple 30-60 mix games. That is out of the realm of the challenge, however. And then the chop shop mix. Deuce to 7, 40, 80. Some PLO 5. Some Big O. And sometimes I wouldn't mind playing some of the other games too, just to kind of hold them as a placeholder like Big O. Problem is it's hard to judge the rake. This is close in a pure steal situation with the deuce up and the ace. I think I am going to call this one. I'm just going to give this one up. Because the ace queen itself has some value and the deuce has got 100% here. It's like very similar to a Raz situation, but the ace queen has some high potential. And then here in this situation against 2 aces, the 2 10s are just completely unplayable. We're just going to be getting free roll all the time. I was supposed to have my first quote-unquote podcast guest. We will be delayed on the recording for a day or two, but I'm looking forward to it. Got a new series coming out. Actually, I actually might make a little intro video for everyone. Hope you guys like it. All right, chop chop mix. Let's see what we got. Stud High Low Regular, Archie 6/6, 6 card, PLO capped. In this game, it is, let's see, we're playing 4/8, so it's 10 big bets, which is $80. Dramadoogie, Deuces 7 Raz, Badusi, Limit Omaha 8, Big O capped, Stud 8 or better, Dramaha Deuces 7, PLO 8 or better capped, and Badesi Ace of 5. One of my favorite, I love having PLO 4, 5, and 6 high low in the mix. I think it's a lot of fun. Again, against probably a pure steal range, we're just going to defend here with the Ace King 8. Plus the King is down, so we have some playability here. I'm going to bet when my opponent catches the 8, just because he can have a pretty wide range. Kind of close. The Jack doesn't do too much. The only problem here is if I do make a pair, I'm going to go for a Queen low in this situation against like a Jack low. So not a card I really wanted to catch, but oh my god, I'm drawing in an 8. I guess I'm calling here to make kings. It's a bad street. Yeah, unfortunately, I think 5/7. Do I have any blockers? Yeah, I think at this point I'm going to fold. I got to call 16, basically. I'm just purely getting free rolled in that situation. Again, kind of the same situation, but I'm defending before I'm defending again, most likely. And then here, he's wider than me. Still doing some betting. 8 low, ace high, ace king high. It's a little bit tricky in this spot, I think. I'm going to go ahead and check. That pair's pretty good for him. Never folding, and we get the queen 10 run out, unfortunately. We are going to call the river with a 10 low. But really no value betting because we're going to get called by 6s. And he scoops me. Yeah, he misses a bet there for sure. I'm definitely calling with a 10 low. All right, Archie 6/6. Limp. Interesting. I think I'm going to call and draw 2. Again, I like the convertibility of some of the Archie hands when I have an ace in it to make something like aces, like this. Still, since I drew 2 against the 1, I'm going to check. And we are going to keep the 4 diamonds, I believe. Keep the backdoor wheel draw just in case. Now our opponent takes 3, which is interesting. We're going to draw 2 again here. Again, the difference between like drawing 3 versus a 3 or drawing 2 with the better pair is not that different. And we do make aces and 10s. So I think against this, I'm going to go ahead and bet and try to get called by the pair, and they just fold. So all right, queens and jacks, 2 pair on the button. Again, Archie is a high-low split game, but you must qualify on both sides. 6s are better for high, 8 are better for low. And not really jamming in this situation with like 2 pair. Just mostly playing passively. If we have like aces or something like that, like aces up, I think we put a raise in somewhere. I think this would be the proper way to play trips too, if he's got trips in like some other card. Because if he's drawing 2 in this situation, I can get away from it on different streets. And we're just calling a river. And he does have a low, so. Archie's a tricky game. Probably one of the more interesting thinking games I've ever played, to be completely honest. Just because if you're up against an opponent who can really hide the strength of their draw, it's not like stud where a lot of the information is rolled out in front of you. It's just a very like well hidden game, I feel like. Quite fun to play. 2, 4, 6 with 3 diamonds on the button here. We're going to open. Have a draw at a high and a low. We have a straight, a flush, or a low. And we are going with the flush draw at this point. Would like an ace for, again, some convertibility, but we don't have it. But we do convert to a flush rather quickly. And in the 2-1 spot, obviously, we're going to be raising. This, to me, seems more like a low hand. Oh, it's trips. Interesting. Yeah, we don't want to see a check raise. Wow. Maybe I'm just wrong. Oh, I thought I got tilted straight. All right, 8, 9, 10 jack here in the big blind again. Um, wow, Pat. It's more often than not low. We do make the straight, and I think we're just in check call down mode because basically, again, if you look at the Pat distribution of hands, the straights are one of the lowest, or like basically one of the lowest. Man, I think I'm still gonna check this one. Hopefully he breaks something. He does not. I have 2 8s in my hand. I guess I'm betting. Pretty sad. I'm not loving it. I mean, more often than not, it's a low, but the problem is like my opponent's never folding a low. So if you look at the distribution of like what my opponent's Pat high hands are, they're flushes, there's straights, there's full houses, quads. Usually not quads. Usually they try to hide their range by betting quads. I think that's a smarter play. Looks like you have a low hand because if he's got quads there in that situation and he keeps drawing and I'm Pat, he does much better if he like kind of traps with his hand and I'm just putting more money in the pot. But if he pats his hand with a flush, a full house, or straight, I'm at the stone bottom of it. Plus, I've seen 2 8s in my hand, so now it removes some of the straight combinations as well. They get it in with so levitation here is playing king, king, queen, queen, 9, 5, and 8 or better. It's not that great of a hand. Essentially, probably it's a really bad hand. Again, when you're given 6 cards, like unless you make kings full, queens full, it's pretty much it. But it's hard for your opponent to like really call you down when you have those hands 2 and 6 card. 4 cards a little bit different, but in 6 card, I mean, it's yeah, you're just not going to get paid that often. I mean, even in that situation, it looked like his opponent there had top 2 with a backdoor low and made the low. You're a pretty chunky hand, just gonna go in the muck. Uh, Ace Queen 3 5 6 8 with a triple suit. This is a hand I'll call a small bet with, but I don't want to put a ton of money in. Obviously, like something. Flop a really nice hand here. I think this is a hand. Sometimes we're basically gonna go for a check raise pot here if levitation decides to bet. I could have just led there, and I probably should now because that deuce is really awful. But um, wow, what a run out! Flopped a complete wrap with nut low draw, and goes deuce deuce. So just giving up in this situation. Running the kings. So not sure if we saved money there or lost money, but sevens full of jacks. Yeah, in those type of situations, I think it's probably better just to lead. Again, in 6 card PLO, when you have like big hands like that, we are unblocking the pairs though. So in retrospect, it might not be the worst to check and then check raise pot. So against a min raise here with 3 pair, calling seems okay given the money in the pot. And hand here where we flop like something, but not a lot. We do have 2 3s in our hand too, so I am going to go for like half pot bet to represent like we have ace 3 in this situation. Hard for my opponent to have it. Board pairs, we have nothing on turn. I think we're just going to go ahead and check this one. Do make 6s fall in the river, and we do have a low as well. So if he bets pot, we're going to call. And if he checks, I think we're going to bet like 2/3. This might be better actually as a pot bet on the river because we have the 2 3s. Definitely want to give him the fold half. All right, John Badoogie, best 4-card Badoogie in your hand, best Omaha High hand. Here with the 3-card 9. I'm just going to let this one go. It is a pretty 5-card hand. All right, we do have queen on the button. Redraw to a 9. Usually we're keeping the queen in this situation, and we're definitely keeping it here with the open ender and a pair of jacks. Opponent probably takes 2 here. Let's take 1. A lot of times this can be a flush draw too. We're going to stay on pat here with this one though. And my opponent does bet, so we're going to call. Not folding. Do make aces and jacks. I think we're betting the river again. It's like one of those situations where it feels like my opponent feels like they have a problem with their hand, and I block a 9-2 for the lower straight. So get that one through. Not quite sure why my opponent donks into me on the turn. Not a ton of hands there. I'm betting the flop, patting, and then folding to a lead. Again, this game, you definitely would like an ace in your hand. Reason being, again, it's the lowest card in the Badoogie, and it's the highest card in Omaha High. So there's going to be times when you just like randomly make aces up with some sort of maybe weakish Badoogie, but you still have scoop ability. Like these deuce 4-7 hands, they're really, really like, they're not great because obviously you just don't have a high hand. Like here's a good example. He's got a, well, it looks like he has queen Badoogie, but it does not. All right, ace deuce around the button here with aces. And, all right, we get led into, we're not folding the aces and we're just ditching the jack. And he can very well have like king jack here with king Badoogie, but we're not folding. Ace deuce 3 plus 8 aces. And we chop. Such a pretty Omaha hand, but drawing 3 at this spot is just, you're giving so much up. All right, deuce 7 Raz. 7-5-4-3-2 is the best hand. And obviously, hand strength is going to be relative to what like your board is, or yeah, well, your opponent's board versus your board. Because a lot of situations you might be in a really dire spot with like an 8 low. If your opponent's holding like a 2-3-4-7 board and there's no 5s or 6s dead, but in a situation, another one, you might have a 10 low and you might be absolutely, your opponent might be drawing dead. So again, stud game's a little bit different because of the hand strength. My opponent's opening a lot. Not calling here with the jack in the hole. 10 would be closer. I definitely think my levitation there can probably have a lot of steals, or has a lot of steals. Like this one here, this is just a definite 3-bet. 2-4-9. He catches good, we do not. Still continuing though. And again, this is like one of those tricky spots, but I still think we're continuing against wide range. And now the situation, even though we have 2 6s and a 4 in our hand, I think we unfortunately have to fold here. We're just dead here too much. And then here we're going to go with steal with the 6 and the 4 in the hole. And kind of in like a wide range spot, I think we do some checking. Opponent probably has the better range there when we raise and he calls. But we catch good. It's actually nice to do an occasional just recording without doing 2 tables of streaming, just because I have to control where I'm going back and forth. Badoogie 7-5-4-3-2, best low. 5-4-3-2 Badoogie, best Badoogie. This is a no qualifying split pot game, meaning it's just really hard to bluff. But the best Badoogie is going to get half, and the best Deuces 7 will get half as well. I saw Jungle on the, I think it was the one of the No Limit streams. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he was wearing a Phenom patch, so that was interesting. Interesting that they did get the jungle. Haven't seen him playing on here just yet. But we'll see if he does any challenges or anything like that in the future. Yeah, 2 full 30-60 games. 1 fun mix, 1 8-game mix. Medusi here with 3-8. We're going to defend in a 3-handed game. So exactly what I want, but I think the price is pretty good. And in a 3-2 spot when we don't realistically improve, we do improve to a 3-card 9, but again, I think the reverse implied of like making a 9 Badugi in the situation here. Plus we block no like real low cards. I guess 1-3, 1-5. We're just going to check fold. No, I guess we improved to a 3-5, but I'm just going to check fold. All right, 4-7-8. Good enough to open. You know what? If you guys are sitting around today watching, I think what I'm going to do is... Interesting. Moxie's playing in the Big O table, but he's not playing. Not playing. I think this is a fold. This hand with Badugi is pretty rough. And it looks like that one's going down too. We're playing limit 08. Again, Badugi on the button here, just in the muck. You really have to have an ace and like a wheel card in your hand to play most combinations of Badugis in 08. Here, easy defense in the big blind with the 10-3-4-6. And we flop a 10 with a wrap. And this is a board that we can check raise. Obviously, we don't have spades, but that doesn't really matter too much. And I still think we have enough equity with a 10 and a wrap to bet. And just get the king-jack run out. So now we're just going to be doing checking. And we do hold. He had the 3-4-6, but he had a deuce. So the 10 holds. Kind of pip our opponent. Hand that's really just can't play. If button opens, we fold, and if folded too, we still fold with these hands without an ace. Had a high pair in there. I feel like a 10-10 queen king or king king queen 10 or something like that. Close one here on the button. These deuce 3-3 combos are okay. The 7's like, yeah. I'm gonna open it. I think levitation's probably gonna call a few too many hands here. Oh, I guess not. So I think I can probably get away. If this is an error, it's probably a small one. All right, ace king 8-6 triple. Good 3-bet, honestly, but I'm just going to go ahead and call with this combo and just start with a check call. Mediocre low, high's okay. Backdoor diamonds, but I have 3 of them. So got some things going, but not much. So we have a backdoor straight jaw too. And then once he checks, we're just totally betting this river almost always. And if we get raised, it's usually like queen jack. And we just call. They're like some combos of maybe like 4, 5, 6. Nah, he would have bet the turn with that. Maybe like 4, 5, 3. I don't know, king that might check to turn, something like that. But it's they're just kind of few and far between. Again, min raise here on the button. Still, our hand's a little bit too disconnected here to call, even though it's double suited and there's a big ante. Probably if the 7 was like a 3, I think I'd go ahead and call. But again, without that ace, we're not doing a ton of potting. Reeling the ace in our hand to build pots. This is a good example of a hand we'll play for a little bit more money, but they give us the walk. And same thing here with this type of hand, just better to give it up. When a 5-card folds and then you have 5 cards without containing an ace, I think your opponent in the big blind's more than likely to find something. Here with the ace-king blocker here, I think this hand's finest to open up as a raise. And on this board texture, even though we do have the king of hearts, we're unblocking like the deuce 3 combo. So I think I'm going to go ahead and check this one. Like, if I had ace, king, deuce, 3 with the king of hearts here, I think this would be another good combo to check with, honestly. And I think we're going to call once. And then we're just going to have to give up river. We're going to see a pot bet a lot here. But hopefully we have a little showdown value. 3, 4, 10, 8. We get a little bit. If I make that bet on the flop kind of as like the king of hearts blocker, I probably want something like a deuce in my hand. Here we are going to defend against the min raise with the with this combo. It's not great, but such a good price in the big blind, and we're playing in position. And 3/4 pot right in the muck. On these low boards, you definitely need some sort of, like, you definitely need a two-way hand. All right, stud 8 or better here. Split kings. Three-handed game, no ace behind. Pretty easy open. They both catch relatively bad. The only one that has really, like, any sort of fear here is the queen deuce clubs. But I have 3 clubs in my hand, so I'm not really scared at this point. So if levitation bets, I'm probably going to raise to try to just clear any equity that I have. But usually it goes fold here a lot. Yeah. Especially when we have 3 clubs in our hand. All right. 10, 4, 8 here. Kind of a mixture between like limping and raising. But it's definitely nice to kind of like fight over the dead money. All right. Hand we're not folding to the ace steal, but the ace has still like a lot of equity against us. I don't think the ace is folding. So like a 2, 3, 4 hand, I'd more than likely jam, but like the 2, 4, 4 hand here, I think is just it underperforms a little bit because like when we do catch bricks like this, it's really hard to continue if our opponent catches good. So I'm just gonna side fold here since we've only put 1 bet in the pot. All right, 9, 5, 7, 3-handed. Open this one. Suited. I feel like the stud games you just have to be super patient with a lot of times, because there's just so often you just, will not get a hand, and you're more often like you find spots that you want to steal in, and a lot of times when that happens, you just get a little too impatient. All right, draw Omaha deuce to 7. Best deuce to 7 hand in your hand. Best Omaha high on the board. They will split the pot. This is a no qualifier split pot game. 1 card jack draw here on the button with the queen. I think I'm gonna go ahead and raise. And this is a spot I'm probably padding. I do have the gut shot with the jack 9 back to our hearts, and I do have the queen. I think I want to go ahead and bet this one. Because I think I turn my hand face up if I check here and then just pat my hand behind. But I do get some free cards on the turn. Sometimes. Not one here, but queens and 6s we're not folding. This is kind of an interesting one to consider raising, but I think we're also like just in really bad shape when that happens. Usually here we're just always chopping. I'm trying to think if there's a combo in which we don't, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and check. Yeah, just had a big draw with the 10 low. 3-handed game, I think you can get away with that raise on the button with the queen. In a 6-handed game, had it folded to me, I think I'm just folding. But in a 3-handed game with like the queen jack convertible, just mucking. All right, 1 card 9 draw here. And on a board that's really not like, I don't really have much going on for me. I'm just gonna go ahead and check, call, draw 1. Do have a flush draw, so make sure I keep the flush draw. I mean, I guess I go for the check raise in this situation because my opponent, like, I'm always free rolling my opponent when they play like this, but they usually have some sort of full house for high. So, unless he's got like an 8 low with a 6, but that's very unlikely. Beautiful hand here. 9-8 pat, double suited. Got a little something, not much. Pair, a couple gut shots. And against the draw two, that we're a big favorite. Beautiful turn there with the deuce. And we get led into, easy raise. We get 3-bet. We are super sad. And we do scoop. Don't really blame him for leading, but I probably would have check raised his hand, to be completely honest. I think I would have gone for the check raise with his hand. Pretty strong. I mean, a 10 low, drawing 2 against the pat on the button, and you've got a bunch of straight draw flush draws. All right, PLO 8 or better cap, 4 card. Super junky Badoogie hand here, right in the muck. How do I hide the chat? Hit the X. All right, here, even though we do have an ace, we have no low cards. And if it was ace, queen, queen, 9, it's closer, but maybe a limp with like a suited ace or something like that. You can add some limping hands into your range with this, but did you figure it out? I'm on Firefox. The X in the chat. The X in the chat box. Here with aces, this is just a hand that we always just pretty much repot. Especially at 40 bigs, we don't have to really worry about like super deep stacks running into a bigger hand. This is a hand we just want to go ahead and pot. Doesn't exist on Firefox. I'm on Firefox. We're all on Firefox. All right. Uh, 4x here. Just doing some math. 4, 6, 3. I think we call and see flop. Do flop open-ended on a board that really is not going to hit his range too much. I mean, this is kind of very tempting to actually go for a re-raise. I think I am. Again, this board isn't going to hit him too much, and yeah, just lets it go. It puts aces, like lone aces, in a really tough spot. Kind of the same thing here with this hand. Like, I do a ton of limping in this game. Flop a set. Kind of a nice hidden hand here, I would say, too. Again, do a fair bit of betting on these, like, 2 low boards. And there's Mr. Ryan Brast. All right, but ace to 5 against the 3-bet. We are going to fold to 2-7-6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the best low. 4, 3, 2, 1. When I say 1, I mean ace is the best Badoogie. No qualifying split pot game, meaning there's always going to be a pot for the Badoogie and a pot for the ace to 5 low. That is the best way I can think to explain it. If anyone's got a different way to do it, let me know. So far, the baby's sleeping. That's good news. Gonna get a little playing, but I don't expect it's gonna be a ton. So probably, I don't even know what the rotation is here. All right, ace 4, 5. Raising. I'm gonna draw 3 out of position. And we do improve to the ace 2, 6. The ace 2, 4, 6. I think I'm gonna go ahead and bet this one. Just draw 1. We do some leading sometimes. We do some check raising. Let's see what the rotation is. I don't remember the rotation. We're going to stand pat, and we're going to bet the river with ace deuce 4. And ace deuce 3 4. Most likely he had me in a bad spot there, free rolling me. Mr. Brast is sitting out. Sitting back in. We got high-low regular, Archie 6/6. Oh, maybe we'll finish up on the 6-card PLO. I know a lot of people request the Archie game because it's just, again, one of those games that's not played that much. So I am more than happy to play an extra round of that. Unless the baby wakes up. 4, 7, 8 here. I think we're just going to ditch this one. Too rough. Badusi, yes. Badasi, nah. They were playing stud any though next game. All right, high-low regular, half ace to 5 Raz, half stud high. Again, no qualifying stud game now. And the aces do play like little jokers in this game. We're in 8 or better. They're little mini jokers in this game. They're super important jokers. Not going to go for the steal here against an ace behind, even if folded to me. The ace wants to play so much in this game that Jack do 6 rainbow is not a hand that we really want to open into it. Could theoretically do some limping, and if he raises us, fold, and if he lets us go, sure. Again, we do some traps in that situation, probably with something like that too, but that was a pretty hand there. Oh, he did not hit a king low. Again, these two pair hands in this game can be super frustrating if you make like 2 pair and a king low, especially if you have something like a wheel draw and you have like aces up and in the river and you make a queen. Well, none played that round. But I believe, what do we go? We go Archie and then PLO 6. Archie then PLO 6. All right, Archie 6/6, triple draw game. It is a high-low game, and you have to qualify on both sides, high and low. Right now, we are technically not qualifying, but we do have a draw. At a wheel, again, keeping these aces gives you the opportunity to make aces, aces up, trips, etc. So we're going to start with the ace deuce 4. Do catch 3. And just call. And we make this 7 low, and this is just an easy pat. We are going to raise just in case our opponent is drawing and or they do make a low. If we get 3-bet, we just call down. But 7 low in this game definitely has enough equity to just go ahead and bet. And we do get a fold, must not qualified. If you make an 8 low in that situation when the opponent leads into, I think folding makes a little bit, just calling makes a little bit of sense, but 7 perfect's a little bit too good. Here with the gut shot and the 7 straight, we do raise this one in the cutoff. And 1-1. A lot of times I would expect my opponent here to have like fair bit of 2 combos, 2 pair combos, excuse me. And unfortunately here, we're probably just going to have to check give up. Our low draw is not great, and our straight draw for high, if our opponent has any sort of high, is not going to be great. So we're just going to have to check fold. The only hand that we can theoretically scoop there if we make a straight is like an 8 low. 2, 3, 4 without the ace in early position, I actually think is a fold. Again, you're giving up some of your high equity by not having the ace, and if I do catch an ace, then I don't have the opportunity to make like aces up because now I have to just basically keep my wheel draw. If you think I'm too tight, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Just say, Kyle, you're a nit. So let's see. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. You have to go wake up a baby here though soon. This is a good play by Levitation. Don't know what he has, but again, leading into the field would be a mistake versus like going for a check raise, especially when you have two people behind you who drew one with one draw left. Didn't catch the action, so there's certain situations where oh, pat. Interesting. Flush 7, 6. Definitely need to play these like 6 lows, I would say, pretty aggressively in Archie. The reason being, against 3-bet we fold. The reason being is a lot of times your opponents are going to have high hands and your other opponent's going to be drawing and or pat with worse lows. So I probably would have put in a 4th bet with it. And his opponent wasn't pat either, the other one. So I think sometimes you just need to put the 4th bet in, and if you're scooped, you're scooped. And here with a gut shot, not much going on. Probably rather, if I had to draw at this hand, I probably want to just keep the flush draw. Now the question is which one? I would keep 3 diamonds, I guess. But I would not call here and draw. I would just fold. If I find myself in the big blind with this hand, the question is how do you play it? 3 10s against an aces. I didn't see the action. I actually want to go back and see that hand history. Let's go back and see that hand history. Because I want to see how he played. That's not what I want. I want the hand history for this one here. It's going to be a little big, I think. Yeah, it's going to be a little big. Let's see how he played this one. I'm a little bit curious. Because it looked like he played trips pretty good here. So, fortunate raises. RTFC takes 2, goes 2-2. Bets calls 2-1. It goes check. Is that right? 2, 2. Okay. Oh, no. I'm extract this right here. Okay, let's start again. Sorry. So, goes 2-2. Check bet call. 2-1. Check bet call. Bet call. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is actually quite good by both players. Actually, he donks on the river. I actually think I raised 3 10s. I think I'm probably raising the 3 10s on the river for what it's worth. It's close. But it's so often here my opponent's just gonna have like aces with a kicker. He didn't really put that much extra action in, so it's very unlikely he has trips also. I think it's just much more likely that your opponent there has like 2 pair. Maybe a low. All right, PLO 6. We'll play this, and I think there's like one random hand of Dramadoogie that we get to. PLO 8 or better 6, I should say. Big, easy. Close this one. And then we will close it down. But we'll get the... What's it called? The formalities out of the way. If you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. Questions or comments, leave them down below. If you need to get a hold of me, my email is in the comments below as well. If you have not opened a Phenom account, again, I have a special code. My code gives you a 200% deposit bonus up to 4,000 USDT. I thank the guys at Phenom for letting me have that. I think they appreciate all the videos I'm making for them. Ace deuce 5, Jack 10, 9 with 2 suits here. Open this one. When you register, you can use code LMG or you can use the link below. And we flop a full house. And I think we're just going to go for a bet with it right away. Something like half pot. Kind of interesting, but I think I'm just going to call. Wow. Well, that's a good card. Guess we're checking. Hoping Mr. Brast has quads. Yeah, we're going to check a lot there. The only question is on the river, what do we do? We do block a jack, though, so we're just going to go for a small bet. I mean, theoretically, I guess we could check here and he could bomb, but... Wow. All right. Unfortunately, this is just going to get a fold from him, but not much else we can do. It'd be really interesting if he does have Jack here. But he mucks. And we get a nice one. All right, good combo here, but this is not a combo that you want to, like, re-jam in this situation, I feel like. With 5 diamonds in your hand and all low cards, this is just a hand you want to call and hopefully catch some sort of piece of the board. Do flop aces up. No club blockers, which isn't great, but we do have 2 deuces and a 4 in our hand. So we are going to check call once. We do make a wheel. It is a little bit better for our hand that the 4th club just caught out a little bit here. So I think we're just going to go ahead and check again. Because theoretically, a lot of times here we're just free rolling. Well, not free rolling, I would say. Because we can get counterfeit too, and we don't block the deuce of clubs, but we're still calling. We're not folding a wheel. Because we can catch, obviously, an ace and a 3, but we're just checking at this point. And a lot of times we're going to see a shove, but I don't think we can fold a wheel, especially with 2 deuces, but we don't see a shove, which is fine by us. We'll just call happily. He does have a flush and deuce 6, so that is a chop. All right. We are going to sit out next blind, though. All right, ace 10, 9, 4, 7, 8, something or other with a straight draw. This is one I think I'm going to, again, attempt to limp on the button. Again, there's a fair bit of dead money in the pot. And we do flop 3 pair. No flush draw, some sort of backdoor flush draw. I think this is one we're just going to check. Not a lot of great turn cards for our hand. And we're unblocking all the lows as well. If it does go check here, though, I think I am going to go ahead and stab at it. I think this makes a little bit of sense. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the pot size bet. If we do get called here, we have a little bit of equity with like the 7-8 low. But if we do check here again, there's like no good river card that we theoretically get. We still don't get one here. And then against the check, I think we just go ahead and check back. Not really turning my hand into a bluff, even though I don't love it. King, queen, queen, deuce 3, we do. He did have a low draw with a king. And then this last hand here, again, we don't have an ace. It's not like triple double suited. So I'm going to let this one go. Oh, going back to the previous formalities, again, if you use code LMG, you're eligible for the bonus, or you can click the link and use that below. Hopefully here I have a little interview series coming out before the World Series. Looking forward to that. Hopefully I can get some good guests for you guys. But until then, I will talk to you guys soon. Good luck at the tables. Play well. Bye-bye.